Hello and welcome to Thank You Half Hour. My name is Tom Christopher Warren. I am your host, and I am thrilled, like over the moon thrilled to have as my guest today, Broadway star, off-Broadway star, regional star. You know her from her Tony-nominated star turn in the magnificent musical Fun Home. Please welcome Beth Malone. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I am swell. How are you? I love your bucket hat.
My camera ready. This is me camera ready from Colorado.
How's Colorado? Are you still in the middle of a heat wave or has it decided to turn into fall?
It is lovely now. Today is breezy and it was overcast and, it'll be gross again tomorrow. But how is it where you are?
So I'm in Columbus, Ohio. It's gorgeous. We happen to be in the middle of a sort of fake repeat of summer. It's in, low 90s, I think. And then next week, I'm sure it will decide that it's September for real. Who knows?
Yes, yeah. But I've been watching the news and there's all these like heat warnings for the middle of the country. So
it's a good thing climate change is a hoax, right? Good thing everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. All good. Right. So Beth and I, for my tens of listeners, recently met through a very bonkers set of circumstances in Aspen, in Colorado, where we worked on a production of Come From Away together. Beth stepped in at the last minute because we had some COVID in the company, and nobody knows the show unless you've done it because it's not really been done regionally yet. So you didn't know any of the music, right, when you came in?
I did not. Well, I had seen it twice on Broadway. I saw it twice. Saw it once, because it ran for a very long time.
Yeah.
And my friend Jen Colella, who originated Captain Bass, so I went to her, I think, opening, and then deep into the show, because we both went to UC Irvine, and one of our professors came to town like, a year and a half into the run or something. And so I went with her again and saw it again. And so I had the whole show like in my head. I knew vaguely the concept, but it's a huge chasm between having seen a play and being in a play.
I look at that weekend as the love child of two tropes: the actor's nightmare and, hey kids, let's put on a show, right? So you're in the middle of a show that you've not rehearsed, you don't know, you can't find your costume, right? That trope of the actor's nightmare. And then a group of artists who go, we can make this work somehow with no resources. I can do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And somehow that's what that weekend turned into.
It was exactly that. It was exactly, first of all, like those dreams where you can't get out, like those dreams like, wait, what? I have to go on. I have to play Annie, but I'm 50. But you're the only one who knows it. And but I don't know it. I played it when I was a child, but you're going on places, and those kind of dreams. And I'm like in it. And I'm like, oh God, just keep going. And that's what it felt like. And the rehearsal process,
Process.
They gave me a book. I sat down, I got the music pounded into my head for like 6-7 hours. And I was like, but shouldn't we be on our feet if there's any, because the idea was that I was going to really like step in, and I was like, okay, let's try it. And in the middle of that 6 hours, I was like, there's no learning anything. This is a music rehearsal to the scale of if I was going to be going into the show, like going to play it. And I detailed repeating of bars over and over and over, because it wasn't just me going in, it was two other folks because of the pandemic.
Global pandemic, which turns out we are still apparently in.
Just like the aftershocks, those little aftershocks of the global.
I'll say, and so we did this sort of hybrid concert version where we would have chairs and music stands, and then there would be a moment that we wouldn't need Beth Malone to step into, so we would push everything away and we would do our dance, and then we'd come back. And it was actually fairly well structured, pretty well structured, but there was a lot of opportunity for us to sit and watch the work of each other, which we don't always have in the full context. And you had the gall to be completely present in this and to act. Your storytelling was so specific and honest. And I'm like, you learned this actual hours ago. I don't understand how you have ownership of this character in such a short time. It's also a testament to how well the show is written. It really is. So
It really is.
the human experience is so well represented in that show. But man, you stepped up.
It was like one of those things, and I learned something from it. I was like, make a choice, go. And then that's what it was. It was like, oh, that was wrong. Oh, that one was pretty good. But you can't, you have to just sort of like stop being the thing on your shoulder, judging because it's like, and then it's done and you're bowing. It was crazy, but it did seem to last about 5 hours. The show seemed that night to be about 5 hours long to me. But it was, it's beautifully written. And I remember the woman who played Beulah on Broadway, and I loved her.
Stunning.
I thought she was so great. And so when I was reading through it, I mean, like, her performance leapt off the page, and it just kind of came through me in a different way, of course, because it's, it just filters through your own personal thing. But it was good that I had seen the show twice. I mean, I have to say, sure. I was just being a big copycat,
Not at all. And it was also exciting for those of us who were involved with it for 6 weeks, just to be able to get up there and tell a story about humanity and kindness and empathy, just in this moment in time, to be able to sort of live in that space is a real gift right now.
It was beautiful. It got me again and again and again, that show. While I was in it, I would be saying a line, I'd be like, just because all of us who are of a certain age and who also lived through 9/11, like, there's all kinds of like layered trauma built into our bodies. And sometimes you just run into those like in the middle of a line, and you're like, man, because it was a very intense thing to live through. And then to put it on stage and through this filter where people did not know what was happening and in real time. And so you're kind of putting your body through that discovery of what actually happened that day. And I remember, I have body memory, as most of us do, of like what it was like when you first came to the realization of what actually happened, because it took these folks on the plane a really long time to realize what actually had happened.
Yeah.
So a lot of come from ways like, we're sitting on a plane, we don't know what's happening, we're getting drunk, we're getting off, we're in the middle of nowhere, we don't know. But then there's that moment where it's like, oh, this is what happened. And oh my God, I have to find a phone, and I have to, so it was intense. I found the whole thing very full experience.
A great way to put it. It was very full. And then you're embodying these people who just took care of each other. Right. So you've got the plain people who are so stressed. You've got the locals who are just helping, just this aura of kindness and empathy. And I've spoken with some of the folks, the real characters in the play, and that everyone says this was real. This was how it happened. People just came together and took care of each other in the face of, and we saw that in New York too on 9/11. We saw people caring for each other in a way that, you don't always see in New York, because you've got your blinders on in order just to survive that city.
Yes. But once in a while, there's that opportunity, and it's always out of crisis, but there's that after Hurricane Sandy, like trying to get food to the people who are trapped with their buildings underwater. There's unfortunately more and more opportunity to show up bodily and not just check. That's the thing.
Do you have you ever read your Wikipedia page? Do you know you have a Wikipedia page? I assume you
No.
Well, what's great about it is there's a category of activism under Beth Malone, and
that's cool,
right? So that's such a sort of heavy, weighty label, and such a remarkable thing. They were talking about early career, personal life activism, right? Beth Malone, the philanthropist, the person who cares about people around her and the world around her. Tell me about your I know you're really active in a lot of social issues, women's issues, and queer issues, and living authentically in your character of Fun Home. What was that like for you?
Well, I think as a queer artist, like, if you just live out visibly, sometimes that can be labeled as activism. But like always has been to like normalize our lives, to normalize our lives, you
Yeah.
know, but the world refuses to cooperate. You know, sometimes it's like, so then you run up into against things, and that is where activism happens.
Mhm.
Because I refuse to acquiesce to this not being normal, and the world refuses to accept it as normal. So that's where that is the place in which activism happens.
Yeah.
You know? And like I said about like showing up rather than just writing a check, it's like, even on a personal scale, if you are helping an individual going through
Mhm.
the difficult process of coming out, or the toxic process of living authentically, and they're running into, you know, hate,
Yeah.
then, and if if you're helping that person, then you're an activist. That's you know, you can do it on this scale or a giant scale too, but just, you know, I can't wait till it's not necessary. You know, I wish it was.
Right.
I just continue to live in the world where it's like, and eventually it will all be fixed. There was this moment, you know, in the fun home era when Obama was president, and
Yeah.
healthcare, you know, Obamacare happened,
Yes.
and marriage equality passed, and you know, there was this wave of, wow, I think we've done it. I think we've done it. And then everything that followed was so much more demoralizing,
Yeah.
because we had that glimpse of what the world could actually be. And now we feel that dangerous hope again. It feels very,
Oh,
but
it's tangible. I can taste the hope. I was having this conversation with someone in the dressing room saying, I'm scared of the optimism that I feel
it.
right now, but I want to put it on like a warm coat because I miss it from the Obama era, right?
Good. It feels so good. But what has happened now that didn't happen then? The George Bush haters are different than the Trump haters. The Trump haters
Absolutely.
made us really have to take off the blinders and see what that looks like, what their hearts are made of, like
Mhm.
what hate really looks like. And I felt like it was a kinder, gentler villain
Yeah.
um, in the Bush era than now. I mean, like, the gloves are off, and we know what it looks like. We know what racism looks like.
Well,
We
as
know what bigotry looks like. We know what misogyny looks like,
Mhm.
and anti-trans and anti every, you know, like, they're
xenophobia and
they're not shy or
yeah,
ashamed of their hate. They are saying, this is American.
right.
This is, they have Americanized their hate. And what I love about Kamala's campaign, and I don't want to go down this thing, is that, like, also it's like football and camo and Democrats.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, yes, let's take
Yeah.
it back. Let's take it back. This is of the Americana that is so, like, specifically us, you in Ohio and me in Colorado, and
Yes.
queer,
Right.
right? God is for you and me. Bless.
It is an exciting time that has come out of a very, very dark period, and I'm not going to be in the country for election day. I'll be on tour, and we'll be in Ottawa, which
Wow.
I know. I mean, fortunately, Ohio has great early voting and great easy absentee voting, so I'm thrilled about that. But it's going to be weird not to be here. And
It's going to be weird, like, last 70 days or whatever we have left.
yeah,
Getting weirder and weirder every day. We look on the thing, it's this weirder and weirder. It's like Kamala dressed in a you know, Russian thing yesterday from Elon Musk. Did you see that? So
no, God.
silly. It's silliness, but it's like,
But we made the mistake of laughing at Trump when he ran.
right.
And I need to remind myself it feels ludicrous because it is so far beyond the parameters of what we consider logical, but we can't laugh at it. It still presents a very real danger not because of the lunacy at the top, and I believe true mental illness, not that I'm a mental health professional, but I believe that Trump is mentally ill. But the
Yeah.
people who are voting for him are not necessarily. They're fueled by hate, not mental illness. And they cling to their hate with the same vigor that we cling to this optimism and hope.
But they don't
So,
think it's hate. That's the thing.
no,
And
they
they
don't.
don't have labeled themselves as haters. They just think that he's some kind of weird messiah. But
Yeah.
there was this really interesting article on like how Trump like cornered the low IQ voter
Mm,
and how he appeals to a different part of the brain.
yeah.
Like the,
Visceral.
it's really like the lizard brain,
Mm,
the lizard brain, the part that just wants to survive, that
yeah.
that is like everyone's out to get us and I'm afraid and I need a big mean guard dog at the front to keep the bad guys away,
Yeah.
and it's interesting, from a psychological point of view. It's
Yeah.
like he's doing something very effectively.
Yeah. And I'm ready to be done with it.
And logic has nothing to do with
Logic
it.
has nothing to do with it. Empathy
Talking
has
about
nothing
him, I can't wait till his voice isn't on the news and
Yeah.
his face and his name. I can't
Can't
wait.
wait. Can't wait. Tell me about Fun Home. I mean, I think you had this prolific career prior to Fun Home, and working actor for many years at the highest level, and then here comes this role and this show that changes the landscape in so many extraordinary ways. The cast was remarkable. The staging was remarkable. I didn't see it at the public. But at Circle in the Square, it was like lightning in a bottle for an audience member, right? You're sitting there, and I saw it probably 4 or 5 times. And each time it was like, I can't believe I'm alive right now for this moment. I can't believe that I'm lucky enough to witness this bit of storytelling with these people in this way. How did that change your life? Did it change your life or your career?
It was like a chiropractic adjustment to my entire life going forward. It changed everything. I wasn't working at the highest level. I was making commercials and an occasional TV show in LA and doing regional theater. That's what I was doing. Regional theater was always my survival job. And I was doing great musical theater,
Yeah.
in LA, but it wasn't like this. It was not like this. And it was like the minute it came into my inbox as an audition, there was something I was just hungry. I was just hungry for. No matter what happened, it didn't look commercial. It didn't look like it was going to go anywhere, do anything. Nobody would know about it. I would know about it years before anybody would know about it. I would say, this thing, Fun Home, I'm working on, my friend. Fun House. And it's like, Fun Home, never mind. But no, until it became a thing. And then it was like, this is what I've been talking about for years. This thing, you guys. Just because the very first thing that came to my inbox was Janine Tesori singing, just like do 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 do. It was just her piano, and she goes, right angle of the leg, that gathers in his sweater, where his glasses round, no square across the top, bump bump bump, half moons, and me, striped shirt, natch, watching Dad, thought balloon. Daddy, comma, hey, Daddy, come here. Okay, I need you. So none of that stuff made it into the show, except for the Daddy, hey, Daddy, come here. Okay, I need you. And so, like, every single version of Fun Home that exists is like this thick library of versions. And the one 90-minute thing that most people know as the show, my God, there's just like reams and reams. You could do a week of different Fun Homes and they would all be brilliant. I thought they were all just like, there was something so just, it was like watching a great documentary, of how to dig through material, how to dig through ideas. This graphic novel is so dense. Every single page of it is like, it's like if you study a page of it, the details, there's 800 details on each page, like sugar packets, like she draws a sugar packet with great detail, like and I was just, I was there for all of it. I was there for it. You know what I mean?
From the beginning, were you in its earliest inceptions?
There was one before me at White Oaks that they did. I don't remember who read it. But I mean, the fact that I got to hold on to the part throughout all of those iterations, it could have, I mean, I
Sure.
saw what, dead bodies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Left and right. And I'm the only one left standing, me and Judy Kuhn.
Really?
There from the early. Yeah. So it was astonishing. And to watch them make it was astonishing, and watch them go through all the things they had to go through. And it was hell. It was hell.
I can't even imagine. Sure, because it's not commercial. I mean, it's optically, it's not commercial. It's not the thing that you put in front of money people who have no sense of what we do as storytellers, and they go, oh, sure, that's going to make us a ton of money. Perfect. It's not that. It's something so much richer.
But for some reason, they always had backing. They always had the public.
Incredible.
You know, so it wasn't like, we're looking for a home. We wrote this thing. We don't know what to do with it. It was like, you got Sam Gold, Janine Tesori, and Lisa Crone, and they're making something. And the public's like, whatever you need.
We're here for it.
And we went to Sundance, you know, for a summer. That was an amazing contract where you got to work a day with the writers and then have a day off while they work. Then you'd work a day and then they would work. So you would work and then you'd play and then work and then play. And it was like Aspen. It was a place like Aspen.
Camp, just fun and creative.
And then at the end of that, we did a presentation that has barely anything to do with the show that you know as of, and somewhere there's a recording of that. Lisa was talking about the opening number I had called Antigone in Vermont. Opening number. I had so many opening numbers. Like someday we'll do an evening of songs from the coffin. We call it because of the funeral home. Songs from the coffin. There were so many great and scenes. Like the kid would answer the phone and be like, "Dad, somebody died." You know, it was so funny. I don't even remember if that's in the show or not. I mean, you know what I mean? There's so many of it. By the time we closed, I was very, very, of course, used to the version but as time goes by, the fragments of the old versions are almost as present as whatever we landed on.
I don't know if you got to see Harmony when it recently ran on Broadway, but I did the original La Jolla production, and then I was with it for about 12, 13 years. And it's the same thing. I saw the most recent one, stunning, and I can't the fragments of memories from, 20 years worth of cut songs, cut characters, added characters, moments, just sort of form this broken mirror that is what it is now. And in the reflection of that broken mirror, I see something stunning because I'm so close to it.
I'm sorry I missed it. I wanted to see it so bad.
Oh God, that cast. It's a beautiful show, and Barry and Bruce wrote a magnificent piece, and Warren directed it with such care, and it was beautiful. Yeah. Hopefully it'll get licensed and will be done all over. I don't know. That is.
Would you direct it? Would you ever be in it again?
I've aged out of my role, by a long time. Would I direct it? I don't know that I have a hard time directing something that I don't think I could do better or effectively differently. And I think his hand and David Warren, who directed it prior, both had beautiful hands with the show. So I don't know that I could do that, but I could. I'll be a dresser or whatever. I'll do something. I'll play Chip Zion's role in a couple of years when I'm the right age. But yeah, it was gorgeous. Back to Fun Home. I think the moment you performed on the Tonys, right? The moment that little girl sang Ring of Keys and America watched this child question everything about her life in front of us, set to beautiful music. And, we hadn't seen a song like that, but we hadn't seen the little girls are singing Annie. They're singing Secret Garden. They're singing Matilda. They're not questioning the meaning of life as they look at this woman and go, who am I? And she was so stunning. So her performance alone, captivated everybody, but also the material. And was that the moment where you all as a company went, oh, people are going to get it? Like on a large scale.
I don't know if I realized it at that moment. I don't know if I realized what that did, but it did. That was the moment.
Yeah. Friends of
I
mine.
don't think he realized it at the time. I don't think. I didn't.
Yeah.
Service might have, because he knows more things than me. But, you know what I mean? Like, he's been there, done, I
Sure.
think maybe, but it was hard because I couldn't see the forest for the trees sometimes.
Sure.
And I was looking at the tree. The tree was Sydney Lucas and her performance. The tree was Sydney Lucas. I've never seen anybody with the kind of mind that child just was born with. She can't do, or she couldn't. I don't know what she's like as an adult, but I can't imagine it's any different. She cannot lie. She can't be bad. She doesn't know how.
Yeah.
Do not have something come out of her completely. She means every single thing she says, and if you could go to Yale drama school and on day one, they were like, mean what you say. There, here's your degree. It's like, I mean what you say. Okay, thanks. That's it. She just means what she says. And she doesn't say it unless she means it. And you watch this and you're like, I quit.
It was very that. Watching that performance, I was like, I shouldn't ever do this again. That was
I should quit.
So honest. Yeah. I should probably quit.
Yeah.
Two friends of mine.
One time she didn't even know how to mark. So we had to tell her, Sydney, you don't have to, during tech or whatever, it's like, don't sing it again and again and again. Just say it. Just say it once. He did this spoken word version of A Ring of Keys once. And at the end of it, I can almost not get through talking about it. The entire circle in the square, every crew member who was working there were people up in the rafters, focusing lights, silent, and every single person just weeping silent tears. And she was just like, didn't understand. She was just asking questions. I'm just asking the questions. I really want to know. And what if, and what if, and what if, and she learned how to do it while talking and not singing in the moment in front of us. And we all fucking died. It was just dying. The kid was amazing. I can never get over how good she was.
And the fact that she was able to have that conversation in a musical for a commercial audience for America on TV at a moment before, we are so embroiled in conversations about trans rights right now. But this was before that.
Yes.
And the fact that could exist then was really singular, really, really remarkable.
Yeah. And it wasn't even just like, a lot of people think it's about sexual identity, but it's really just about identity.
Yeah.
It's a child. So she's just looking at someone going, I'm like you. I think I'm like you. Yeah. I'm not. If you're out there, then maybe I'm not an alien because I am like you and I know I am. And now I know what I am because I see you. And your courage is going to make a difference to me. Your courage of living out like that. It's going to make a difference to me. It's going to give me a chance.
That's theater. That's what's so thrilling about that play. Friends of mine host a podcast, and one of them lives here in Columbus, actually. It's a very fun podcast called The Drama. And one of the things they do is they ask every one of their guests what their Ring of Key moments is. That moment in the play carries so much weight for the two of them that they've incorporated it into their everyday lives, which I think is thrilling.
Yeah, Tig Notaro has a podcast. You know what it's called?
No.
She has a podcast with two other comedians, and you know what it's called?
What?
Handsome. Handsome.
Such a beautiful moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's next for you? What do you got looking forward to?
Well, here's why I talk about the support of musicals that are being made. It's like I am writing a musical, and I have been writing it since COVID. I'm writing the book for something called Starstruck, and writing it with my best friend Marianne Stratton. She and I writing the book, and the music is Indigo Girls, Emily Saliers. Yes,
fabulous.
So it is. It's a gay Cyrano. It's like or a queer retelling of Cyrano. It takes place in a dark sky reserve in Idaho. which is a place where people turn off their outside lights so you can see the stars,
Yeah.
but everyone has to agree. And it's sort of a rednecky place. And this one woman who is fighting for this thing. And then this woman comes to town and falls in love with the big, park ranger dude. And it's a musical comedy. It's a musical comedy. It's a rom-com.
Fabulous.
And it's got, gayness in the middle of it.
I love gayness.
I know, I do. But it's like, I want this show for me. I want it out there. I want to see this show. So I had to make this show, just sort of like, not to compare myself to Oh Mary, but you have to make what you want to see.
Yeah.
And let the rest of the things catch up. So that's what I'm up to. But yeah, I just got back from Chicago. I shot Chicago Med for 2 weeks. And that's what I do a lot these days. I do these guest stars and I go off and shoot these things and I get insurance for my wife and I.
Yeah.
That's how we do. But in between these TV gigs, I am trying to get this thing produced. So we're talking. So if anybody's listening out there, if you want to have a deck sent to you, we'll just shoot it right your way. Just private message me on whatever. I don't know. But somehow get a hold of me.
How long have you been writing it? You said since COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, we've had a bunch of different versions of it, but the bones of it have always stayed the same. Like the tent poles of it takes place here. This is the scene. This is where we're heading. And that's always been the same. And we have an amazing, we just did a reading. We had, Claiborne Elder and Elizabeth Stanley and I are like the three,
fabulous.
The love triangle.
Yeah.
We had Murray Hill in it.
Fun. Yes.
It was there, and just it was a zany cast of characters. And it was really fun. And yeah. So, and then after that, we had some interest and some people were just trying to move it faster because Mama's old and I'd like to play it before I'm 60. That's the real truth. I want to get this thing moved. I'm like, let's just go to Broadway in 2027. That's the goal. So
perfect. Yeah. We'll throw that
out. If you want to win a Tony in 2027, hit me up. It's beautiful. Emily's an amazing songwriter. She's an incredible composer. If anybody knows the Indigo Girls, it's always those songs that you can't get out of your head that strike you right in the heart. That's always Emily.
Absolutely stunning. Did you? I grew up listening to their Superstar album. Do you remember that?
I did. I do remember that. Isn't that weird that they did that?
It was completely bonkers and yet correct. It's like, yes, absolutely.
It's like Cher doing West Side Story.
Oh, that is a whole nother level of bonkers. And any of my tens of listeners, if you don't know the Cher West Side Story, just Google it and you're welcome.
You are welcome.
And, not that I advocate drug use, but you might be a little stoned if you want to watch that.
I mean, if you really want to get the full experience, I would definitely say a healthy indica inhale. Just
wild.
Why?
I mean, why is the first question? Yeah.
Why? Anita's gonna get her kicks tonight.
Oh no, Anita, no. Just a bass Maria. And I was here. I love it. I love it with my whole heart.
But not only that, but all the dudes.
Absolutely. The split screen. I'm here for every moment of it. Beth, it's Thank You Half Hour, and so I got to let you go because we're wrapping up a half hour. But thank you for spending time with me, for catching up with me, for gossiping with me a little bit. I'm thrilled to sit and chat with you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was great to meet you in the weirdest way possible, and we'll know each other forever now.
We absolutely will. Hopefully, we'll share a stage for more than 2 hours next time.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We'll talk
see you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, half hour.
Boxland Media. Think big.